a home part 5, gathering existing conditions. So at this point in the process, we're gonna make a couple assumptions. 1, you've hired your builder, and 2, you have land procured. We're also gonna go ahead, and although we talked about the different routes you can take for the build process, we're gonna go ahead and focus only on the design build route for the remainder of this series, being that's what our company does. While there will be some differences if you go the design bid build route, overall, things are generally the same. There just may be some subtle differences. So the next thing you're gonna do in the build journey is you're gonna gather existing site conditions. Now, this is something that we actually take care of for all of our clients. So based on your builder, you may or you may not be involved in this process. But the very first thing you wanna do, and honestly, you should do this before you even purchase the land if possible, is do soil tests or make sure soil tests have been done. The reason we recommend doing soil tests is because it tests to make sure there's no bad soil and that the soil can actually support the weight of your home. If the soil isn't great, you may need soil corrections, and sometimes soil corrections can add tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to the price of the property. So it's something that you definitely want to be aware of on the front end and not as you're digging the hole. Number 2, after you've done soil tests, you want to get a survey ordered. Now, a survey is going to be essentially a map of your property, and they're going to go through and they're going to show you where the outline of your property is. They're going to show you the topography. There's all kinds of information on the survey. Some cities may require trees be marked on the survey as well. It just depends on the surveyor that you use and the jurisdiction that you're building in. After you received your survey, the third step in the process is you want to go to the city and figure out what their requirements are. Now, each city is going to have different zoning codes and restrictions, setbacks, how high you can build. So you want to figure out all of the different parameters that are going to affect your home and what you can ultimately build on that home. So certain things, like I mentioned, setbacks. How far can you build and how close to the property line can you build? A lot of cities will also have height restrictions. So how high is it from the average grade to the top of the house or the average roof line of the house? There's different ways different cities define that. They also will look at the overall coverage. So what percentage of your home is taking up what percentage of the lot? If you have a huge lot, you probably don't have to worry about this. On smaller lots, this can absolutely be an issue. Cities will also look at trees based on how particular they are. So there's a lot of different factors that come into play when the city is concerned. The fourth thing that you're going to have to do, or you may have to do, is you may need a wetland delineation. So if your property has wetland on it, is near a swamp, is near any body of water or a lake, there's a good chance it may be in a wetland district and you may need to have a wetland delineation done. This is like a survey, it's just more so focused on the wetlands in particular or that body of water that's nearby. And fifth, the last thing you should do is you should look into what utilities are existing in the property, what need to be brought in, and are there any utility easements? So things like, is there sewer and water in the road? Does it have to be brought into the lot? Is it already in the lot? Is there even sewer and water? Do you need well and septic? If you need a well and septic, you need to involve a well and septic designer to start to get those components designed as well. If you don't have utilities in your lot, we recommend you start this process as early as possible because the utility companies can be challenging to work with and it can take a long, long time. At the very least, figure out what their timelines are, figure out what their processes are, and go from there. As I said earlier, we take care of all of this for our clients, so our clients don't have to worry about any of these steps, and that's the great part of hiring a great builder is they take a lot of stuff off of your plate. But based on your situation, you may be more involved in this process as well, so these are 5 things you want to make sure you don't miss. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below and follow for part 6.